going on.
Thank you so much.
Feel like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. Babcock here. Guys, Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, is finally addressing the Bad Bunny selection for the Super Bowl halftime show. Also answering the question, is he considering pulling Bad Bunny for somebody else after just this fast and furious backlash to the selection? So, owners' meetings going down this week, and Roger Goodell, who not very often does he speak with the media, but of course the big meetings happen, and because of that, he ends up talking, Lucas. And of course, there was a lot of questions about things that go on in the league, but you know people were going to ask about Bad Bunny. It still is what everybody is talking about. There's a lot of people who said, this guy, one, his music is not in English, so we don't want to listen to his music because we don't understand it. And two, we think he's un-American. Those have been the two big arguments. And of course, you knew, again, he was going to be asked about it. And yeah, he spoke.
Right. It's not surprising that he was asked about it, but he did seem pretty dumbfounded when they were like, what do you make of the backlash? And he's like, he's one of the biggest artists in the world. What are you talking about? Like, people should be happy about this. Like, the facts speak for themselves. The streaming numbers are insane. The popularity, the ticket sales, all that. He did say, look, I get it. Over 100 million people watched this event. Yeah. There are going to be some people that are upset about it. But listen to what Roger Goodell has to say here and try and pinpoint whether he was actually ever considering changing the halftime performance.
Roger, when you guys chose Bad Bunny for the Super Bowl, there was some blowback from that. I wonder what you make of that situation and what went into the decision to choose Bad Bunny as your Super Bowl halftime performer.
He's one of the leading and most popular entertainers in the world. That's what we try to achieve. It's an important stage for us. It's an important element to the entertainment value. It's carefully thought through. I would say that I'm not sure we've ever selected an artist where we didn't have some blowback or criticism. It's pretty hard to do when you have literally hundreds of millions of people that are watching. But we're confident it's going to be a great show, and that he understands the platform that he's on, and I think it's going to be exciting and a united moment.
You're not entertaining any change in Bad Bunny's booking for the halftime show, correct?
No, the show will evolve from here. So I'm not saying that there won't be additional talent that might be available, but that's always the way it works.
I mean, look, to your point, and to Roger Goodell's point, 130-ish million people, give or take, watch the Super Bowl. Good luck finding 130 million people. You can't find 130. You can't find 13 people to agree on anything, no less that amount of people to agree. So I am with him there. I would have followed up with, hey, Roger, what's your favorite Bad Bunny song, in which he would not have been able to name half of a song. But I get it. You're not going to make everybody happy. I think people know where I stand. I'm not so much worried about does he love America? Does he hate the country? I don't know. Who knows? Ask him that. I don't think it's a good choice from the standpoint that 90% of the people in the building aren't going to have any idea of what the heck he's saying. So, but again, I'm just relitigating the same argument here. You heard Roger Goodell's explanation. He's the commissioner. I get that Jay-Z is the one who is in charge of the halftime show. It's not getting done without Roger Goodell say so. Bet on that. And they're not changing it. He's going to be the performer. So just get used to it if you don't like it.
For what it's worth, somebody who was actually in a previous halftime show told us, Lucas and I, here on the live stream earlier this week, that he was a fan of this. That's Joey Fatone.
Ooh, you guys had Joey?
Joey Fatone came and chatted it up with Lucas and I, man.
Wow.
He didn't ask about you. It's crazy. But I didn't really remember this at the time when I asked the question about the halftime show. I said, if you were able to give some advice to Bad Bunny, he was like, well, I was actually in it. And if you recall, he was in Super Bowl XXXV 35, the big blowout with the Ravens and Giants.
Yeah.
Him and NSYNC and Aerosmith and Britney Spears and Nelly. I watched it back. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, he
That's
shared,
a halftime show.
Boy, was it. He shared some advice to Bad Bunny.
Yes.
And here's what he had to say. I found it super interesting.
Bad Bunny at the halftime show. What do you think about him getting the big stage at the Super Bowl this year?
You know what? I embrace it. I think it's great. Honestly, I really do. I know people have different sides of it and all that kind of stuff, but I think every year for me, I think they should change it though. Every year, I think there should be some sort of nobody's crying and complaining that pop music ain't out there right now. Why isn't a boy band out there? And you know what I'm saying? I think it's just different styles, different times, different years. So this year is Bad Bunny year. Maybe next year, who knows?
After doing the halftime last night, do you have advice for Bad Bunny? I know it's a little bit smaller scale, but same
fun.
stadium,
I mean, we did the halftime show. NSYNC did with Aerosmith and Mary J. Blige and Nelly and stuff. So it's a fun ride. I would tell him just enjoy it and embrace it because it does go by so fast. All the preparation, all the rehearsals, everything. It just boils down to those few minutes, not a whole lot of time, and it's just one big blast to see how much performance you can do to wow everybody.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's the quite literally the biggest stage you could ever have. I mean, 130 million people watching. It's huge. I think it's going to be great for Bad Bunny's career. I definitely understand why he's doing it. I think it's a polarizing pick, bottom line. But that's really cool. I'm really jealous you guys talked to him. Russell Wilson claps back at his former coach, while Woody Johnson rips his own quarterback. Both New York football teams stirring the pot when TMZ Sports returns right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Boy, is there a lot of quarterback drama in New York. Not just the New York Giants, also the New York Jets. Not about the Giants starting quarterback, Jackson Dart. No, we're talking about the backup quarterback, Russell Wilson. Of course, we all know this game has been beaten to death with everyone talking about it. The Giants give up 33 points in the fourth quarter on Sunday. They collapse in Denver. They lose to the Broncos. Now, Sean Payton, the coach of the Broncos, he thought that Russell Wilson was going to be the quarterback. But we know a couple of weeks ago, Giants coach Brian Daboll, he makes the decision that he is going to sit Russ. He's going to put in his rookie quarterback, Jackson Dart. And we know this was a great game that the Giants should have won and that Payton's team should have lost. Now, after the game, Payton was asked about the quarterback situation in New York. He was asked about Dart. He was asked about Russell Wilson. Remember, Russell Wilson, of course, a few years ago, played for Sean Payton in Denver. That did not end well. If you wondered if these two guys liked each other, wonder no more. Watch this.
They found a little spark with that quarterback. I was talking to John Mayer not too long ago, and I said we were hoping that change would have happened long after our game. But anyway.
Okay, so he says, I thought it was a dig, obviously,
It's a subtle way of saying Russell Wilson would have been significantly easier than Jackson Dart.
Right, which I think is true.
A lot of people take a lot of shots at Russ. I mean, the Mr. Unlimited thing was mocked relentlessly.
For being such a nice guy, I think by all accounts, he's a good guy. He's a good person. He does get a lot of crap.
He never fires back at anyone until Tuesday. Apparently, it took him roughly 48 hours to get wind of Sean's dig. And boy, did he fire back. He took to his X page and he wrote, "Classless, but not surprised. Didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 plus years later through the media." And then he hashtagged it, "Let's Ride." Obviously, that was the tagline he used in Denver. The bounty hunting is obviously a reference to Sean Payton's role in Bountygate, which got him suspended for an entire season and basically kind of derailed his whole coaching career for a lengthy period of time. So Russ did not hold back here. Like, that's as animated as I've seen Russ in any situation.
I could see someone out there, Ed, looking at that tweet, and if you don't know Russell, you'll be like, what's that? That's so mild. But for Russ, that that, he may as well have screamed a million F words from the ceiling, from the roof, because that is an animated Russell Wilson. I think it's been a tough year for Russell Wilson. He's clearly not the same player that he used to be. The season did not go well for Russ when he was starting for the Giants. He expected to be the starter. I think he knew that at some point he may lose his job. I just don't think that he thought it was going to be after less than a month. So it's been tough for him. Nonetheless, here I think he's been a relative good trooper here. But he and Sean Payton, bottom line, have no love lost. They do not like each other, and that is crystal clear now. So anyway, Russ is the backup. The Giants and Broncos don't play again this season, so they won't have to see each other. So we go from one New York team to the other team, the only defeated team in the NFL, the New York Jets. Justin Fields. The Jets took a flyer on Justin Fields this season. He's a young quarterback still. He's a great athlete. There have been a lot of questions about his passing ability, and it has not gone well for Justin this season. Of course, he was pulled last week. There's a lot of questions about who is going to start this week. A lot of people think it's going to be Tyrod Taylor, the backup quarterback. Well, Woody Johnson, the Jets owner, he met with the media. He talked about his quarterback like I have never heard an owner talk about a player in my entire life. Absolutely destroyed Justin Fields. Now, the question was something about Aaron Glenn, the former star Jets player who is a rookie head coach now, came from the Lions. He was a defensive coordinator there. Now he's in New York. A lot of people have questioned whether or not Aaron Glenn is going to lose his job after just one season. I think this was Woody Johnson, the owner, backing up Aaron Glenn, but boy, did he trash his quarterback.
It's hard when you have a quarterback with, with a rating that we got. He has the ability, but something just is not jiving. But if you look at any head coach with a quarterback like that, you're going to see similar results if you go across the league. You have to play consistently with, at that position, and that's what we're going to try to do for the remainder of the season.
So what gives you hope then? Does it give hope?
I just think defense, special teams are doing better. The defense is pretty good, and if we can just complete a pass, it would look good. We got to complete some passes. You got to convince them that you can do something. Otherwise, it's hard to have a game that you could win.
Mojo, you were a player in this league. What do you do? What do you say? How do you react if you're the player? I mean, that's the team's owner, and he rolled him over with the bus and then backed it up and repeat. Crazy.
The answer here, Babcock, is you say nothing and you desperately try to find a way to play better, because otherwise you're a guy that's playing awful on the field and you're complaining in the media, showing any possible future team that might bring you up as a second or third string option that you're also a problem personally. So you say absolutely nothing. I mean, look, straight up, this didn't start that bad in that interview. I mean, he said he had some ability, and then, I don't know, maybe during the interview he realized he was way too nice and he started getting mad and frustrated thinking about how the season was actually going. And then, yes, he ran him over and then went into reverse several times on repeat just to keep just crushing this dude.
Up next, WWE superstar Omos joins us. The biggest man in professional wrestling breaks down his newest endeavor when TMZ Sports comes back right after this.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. I'm your host, Mojo Mutati, and today I'm the biggest levels of hype because we are having our biggest guest that we've ever had on the show with us right now, WWE superstar Omos. How we doing, my friend?
I'm doing very well. Happy to finally be on TMZ. I've been watching this since when I was a kid in Nigeria, so glad to finally be on the show.
Watching as a kid in Nigeria, you love to hear that. We're international, baby. Dude, you are on a heater right now. You've had some very interesting things go on inside of a WWE ring recently. I want to talk about a few of them. Let's start. You mentioned Nigeria. Let's start about your head-to-head you've had recently with Obafemi.
I had to give the fans a little teaser, how to show him who's boss, how to show him, how to properly pay respect to his elders, because, back home, I'm considered his elder. So it was great to have that experience to show him what the big leagues are about, on the main roster.
Almost every single time you're in the ring, you're in there with the biggest people on the roster. I got to talk about a moment that you had just recently where you actually had, I believe, the highest viewed WWE TikTok video of all time in a big square off against Microman, actually. What happened there? That video went completely viral. Really entertaining stuff. Talk about Microman for a second.
Hey, man, when you put the largest man in the world in WWE in the ring, this creates magic. You put him anywhere in the world, you send him to Japan, you send him to Mexico, I just create magic. And that's exactly what happened. I went to the Battle Royale, the Copa Bradell, and in AAA in Mexico. It was a surprise, fighter in the match. And I just had to show the world, you guys might have forgotten about me, but the Nigerian Omos is still around and still available, and he still kicks ass. And I had to show him his little puny ass to get off my ring that he doesn't belong there. And that's all it was. And it just grew legs and exploded like nobody's business. But, I have that type of effect on anything that I do.
I got to talk about this backdrop behind you. This is your secret hobby that not a lot of people know about you, not a lot of people would expect, but you are a cologne connoisseur. I mean, your backdrop looks like we're in a store, for crying out loud. Hey, just last week, we got to talk about this. You just released your own cologne product right here, the Giant Connoisseur. I mean, we've seen Shaq put out a cologne very recently. Bruce Buffer has one. Now the Giant Omos. What can we expect from this product? Because I have it, and it smells fantastic. I'm trying to detect notes in here, but I'm not a connoisseur like you.
Yeah. And by the way, it is called Ibere, which is Yoruba, which is my mother tongue, and it means the beginning. I mean, to be honest, it's a dream come true, coming from a kid from Nigeria. I never had thoughts about, going to WWE, doing 3 WrestleManias, and now launching my own fragrance. It's a dream come true to finally have a piece of me in a bottle that I know people will love. Yeah. And by the way, it is called Ibere, which is Yoruba, which is my mother tongue, and it means the beginning. And, as, the partnership with George and George Zaharoff, the brand, I'm just grateful that he gave me the opportunity to share my heart with the world and something that I'm extremely passionate about. And, it's just been great to be able to put a product that people love out there, man. I'm when I talk about this fragrance, I'm extremely lost for words because I really, really put my heart and soul into this. And I reiterate again, this is a very, very, very sexy scent. I don't think you guys are ready for this bad boy. But that being said, I'm grateful that the response has been amazing, and I am extremely thankful for those who have continued to support me in my endeavor. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today on TMZ Sports. We look forward to seeing you again in a ring. Tell everybody where they can check out your cologne before we wrap.
You can buy the cologne Ibere by the Giant Connoisseur and Zaharoff at Zaharoff.com. Zaharoff.com if you want to get this fragrance. It's now available to purchase. Yeah, Zaharoff.com. Let's just check it out.
The Oklahoma City Thunder received their championship rings. That's right, we said championship rings, plural. We'll explain next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. So there was Kevin Durant returning to Oklahoma City, where he started his NBA career, getting into it with a fan. Some not nice words exchanged there. This was, of course, KD now with the Rockets Thunder. It was a thrilling game that the Thunder ended up winning 125-124, but Kevin Durant had a nice game, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists in his first game as a Rockets player. That was cool. A lot of people talking about KD kind of jawing back and forth with the fan there. Not I think the coolest part of the night, though, Lucas, because, of course, the Thunder won first championship in the history of the organization, and they got the rings.
And how fitting than to do it in front of the biggest star that they've ever had in the franchise. But
a lot
these
of people
rings,
thought they'd have a bunch of rings with Russ and KD back in the day.
That didn't happen, but they're enjoying the one from 2024, 2025 now. And these are really cool because, yes, they might look a little simple at first glance. They have the OKC Thunder logo and everything like that, but then the top pops off and another ring comes out. So technically they have 2 rings now, which is really cool because you always have to figure out how to be innovative and one-up each other every year. Remember the Bucks had the pendants that you could pull out of the ring? This is a very cool touch. It also has their signature and their numbers in there. I think it's very nicely done, very tasteful.
I like that because, and you're right, we've seen, I think the new trend is the top of the ring coming off, right?
In some capacity, yeah.
I like that, though, because I think you see a lot of guys who they'll wear the ring for a special occasion or if there's some team event, but they're so massive that it's not really, it doesn't make sense to wear it just day in, day out. So I think the idea probably is, Lucas, that you wear your little ring there day in, day out. It's more of an everyday type of deal. And then if you want, you can put the big, massive one on.
That Chet Holmgren wore during the press conference last night. He just had his hand up like this,
the big one or the small one?
The big one.
The big one? Yeah, I think it doesn't help when you're like 7 feet tall. But I like that. That's like an innovative design. Who Justin's made those, right?
Yes, with the Champions Collective, I believe is what they're called.
Okay.
Champions Collective. So it's new. Usually people go to Jason of Beverly Hills. That's the go-to guy for the championship rings, especially in the NBA, where you can spend more money on less rings.
Yeah, you'll see Justin's do a lot of the college teams, I think, because perhaps
NFL.
A little bit cheaper. Right, more players. But I think they did a really good job there, and they've done something that I don't think Lucas and I have seen before. So very cool. It was an exciting day. You win the game, great. But I think more importantly, to get that ring, to be able to celebrate with your teammates, with the fans, this incredible accomplishment from last year, very cool. And it doesn't hurt that the ring is pretty cool itself. All right, guys, we got to go. We'll have a bunch to talk about tomorrow. Have a good night. We'll see you then.
I'm a lawyer.